And just after midnight on the 27th of January, he came to our home. And so he knocked on the door, and my older brother was awake. He was waiting for a friend to come over, and he answered the door, and my mom, Stalker, was standing there with the .22 caliber rifle. He ordered my brother to go into the basement of our home. We were all sleeping at that point. We didn't hear anything. And he held my brother hostage in the basement, and, you know, he verbally tortured him. And at one point he had my brother write a note, a will for him, suicide note, I guess, to say that, or his reasoning for what he was doing, I guess.
What happens next?
I had my brother up and told my brother that he was going to go upstairs and do the deed. And my brother shortly after heard my father yell. I don't know if he heard my mom scream or, you know, the order of it, but he heard my father yell, say something in French to him. It's a French Métis community. And he then heard a gunshot. And so my brother, thankfully, was able to escape from a basement window. He had, in fact, shot and killed my father right away. And that's what woke up me. And I don't know if that's what woke up my younger brother, but it's what had woken up me. And then I came to my bedroom door, and I could see my brother standing in his door just screaming and crying. So I go to call 911, but I actually dialed the wrong number. And then at that point, I could see the shadow running towards me because it was in the middle of the night. All the lights were off in the house. And then I ran down the hallway and I call, and I drop the phone when I see someone running towards me, and I run into the basement and I hiding behind a door. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm thinking, what is happening? Like, I have no idea. The way my brain just thinks of the memory of me standing there, it was just like I could not wrap my head around what was happening. So now I'm in the basement. It's not long. They come into the basement and my younger brother pulls me out, and I just remember looking at him and begging him to leave me alone. Like, just leave me. Don't pull me out. He does, but I mean, to be fair, they're right there, my mom and her stalker, and now he's livid because he realizes that my older brother isn't in the house. And at one point he turns to my mom and he says, you have to choose which one of your children are going to die if we can't find him. And eventually my mom turns to me at some point, I think when he's like distracted, and she says, I'm going to go upstairs with him. Stay down here and call for help. And she said, I love you. And then we're sitting on the stairs. I know he threatens our lives again. And that's when my mom's like, hey, let's go upstairs. And she wants to separate him from us. What she says, I have no idea, but like, I can't remember. And he takes her upstairs, and they go upstairs, and we stay in the basement. So to go back a little bit, because my brother escaped at 2:30. He ran to the nearby neighbor's home. He actually stopped at my aunt's house. He didn't wake anyone up there to get a pair of shoes because it was the middle of January. And then he continued on, and he ran to Ken and Debbie Bowden's home. And that's where the first 911 call goes in from their home. And the way the chain of command would go is my brother calls the 911 dispatcher. Then they tell the two officers that are on duty at the police station that is like patrols our community. That's about 40 minutes because we're in rural Manitoba, right? So it's 40 minutes away. And now it's past 2:30. So it's around 2:30 and it closes then. So they're actually already in Winnipeg at their homes when they get this call. And they're told that by name, my mom's stalker, because again, this police station knows my mom's stalker, and they say his name, that he's in our home. He's holding us hostage, that they have Carson on the phone. He's saying that he's there and that he has a gun. And from there, they are supposed to let the constable know on duty, and they call the constable to let him know. And he says, again, by name, go out to the Paul residence, that's my family's last name, and see if you can talk to him. Secure the area and call me when you get back, or when you get there. And then he hung up the phone, and instead of calling a hostage negotiator or calling for backup or anything, he hangs up the phone and he accidentally falls back asleep.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's just open news that he admitted to falling asleep?
Yep. A human error. We're waiting for them to come. It takes so long that when I'm in the basement with my younger brother, a second 911 call is going in through from the Bowden residence with my brother to say, like, where are you? Where are you guys? And also my brother alerts them not to come down the road with their lights on because they're so concerned that they're going to alert him and like that he's going to do more damage. We're still in the basement. We actually fall asleep, my younger brother and I wake up at 5:30 and I'm woken up by what I can only assume is another gunshot. At that point, he had shot my mom in the arm. So I run upstairs with my younger brother, and now I'm trying to get into my bedroom because that's where they are. And I try to push the door open, and I could hear my mom say on the other side of the door, "Why do you have to shoot me? You already shot me in the arm." I hear her say, "Why do you have to shoot me? You already shot me in the eye." And I don't understand that at all, but I hear that she's hurt and that she's shot. So I run into my parents' room and I get up on my parents' bed and I call for help. I call for help at one point and a 911 dispatcher hangs up on me.
Before they hung up, what did you get at? What were you
I don't know what I said. I actually didn't even know that had happened, but that's in court documents, that I had no idea that had even happened. And at this point, I look over and I see my dad is lying on the bed. And I'm like, when I say I got a feeling of relief, like I can feel what I felt in my body because I was like, he's there. Oh my God, why is he waking up? And it's your dad. You think he's going to help me, right? And so I start shaking him because he had a blanket over him. I don't see anything, but I react from how my brother reacts, and I know that he saw something, and then he screams. I realize that he's hurt, and I just leave him. My brain never told me in that moment that he was dead. It was just leave him alone. At 5:30, while I had run up and going through all of this, my brother is finally, only at 5:30, taken to, at that point, give a statement.
So this is 2.5 hours later, at least? Or much longer?
3 hours later,
It's
right?
been 3 hours since this all occurred.
Since the initial 911 call. Now, the officers are outside, but there's no one else there at that point. They are shortly after setting, at some point between, let's say, 5:30 and 6, they're setting up a command post in Eli, which is about 10 minutes from my community. And we don't know why. That was also brought into question, why so far away? Why didn't you do it in our community? We have a town hall. There's a church. There's other places they could have set up so that they weren't 10 more minutes out of the way. And so, they take my brother finally to give a statement because at that point, they don't know. They haven't heard anything else other than that initial 911 call. In between all of this, they do make contact with my mom. So they call the home and my mom answers. And this just gives you an idea as to how intoxicated he was, the drugs he was on, because why on earth would it be normal for my mom to answer the phone at that time of night? And I'm grateful for him being so out of it because she could get on the phone at least, but she was answering one-sided questions. They asked, "Are you okay?" And she said, "I don't know." She answered a lot of the questions, "I don't know," because she's in shock and you have someone standing next to her who's threatening her life. So she just said, "I don't know. Is your husband okay?" "I don't know." And then eventually she just said, "I have to go. Can you call me in the morning? I have to go." And then they were able to say, help is on the way. So we continued to wait. And now it's 6:30 and he turns the gun on my mom. She tries to leave my bedroom and he shoots her in the shoulder. But the type of weapon it is, the bullet spins. And so it severed her spine and she died immediately in front of my younger brother and I.